Hi everyone and welcome back to Silent No More. I debated a lot on whether or not to make this video and decided that basically, for nobody other than myself, I was going to, because at this particular moment this is the worst I've felt in probably 5 years. And for those that know me personally know I'm not breaking my corona quarantine. I had to get medical intervention for an infection, but anyway, when it comes to domestic violence and being a survivor of any sort, there's always triggers. If you're lucky and you do a lot of work like I did, you become very self-aware of not only that, but of triggers, which is a good thing. When it bites you in the ass is when you let your walls down and you share those triggers with somebody. In any aspect of your life, it doesn't matter whether it's friendship, business, romantic, whatever. And you let your walls down and you trust them, and then they turn around and basically use those triggers against you and then make you feel like shit when you're telling them to stop, and telling them that you're triggered, because now suddenly you're selfish. If I need to be considered selfish, then okay, I'm selfish. I think I've earned the right to be selfish. I spent over a decade in hell. Still walking through hell. So I've earned the right to be selfish. And if people don't like it, then they can leave. I don't care. I don't need anybody in my life more than I need my own sanity and peace of mind. There's not even a word for this feeling. Broken doesn't even begin to describe it. Like, I physically feel like my soul broke. Excuse me, and it's been a really long time since I've ever had that happen. It's been a really long time since I've ever put my trust into somebody wholeheartedly and had them violate that trust in the worst way that could have been done, and then didn't respect me enough when I pleaded for them to stop. I'm naturally a loud talker, but when it comes to raising my voice, that is not something that is normal for me, especially if I get to like a point where I'm just screaming at somebody. At that point, at that point I had already said multiple times, go away, stop, go away, go, stop, I'm being triggered, like, please just go. And it wasn't being respected. And fight or flight mode kicked in, and that's where I screamed. For 10 years, I didn't scream. So you bet your ass now, when I'm not feeling safe, when I'm worried about the safety of somebody else, I'm gonna fucking scream. I'm gonna be like a bear, and I'm gonna try to make myself bigger than you in the hopes that you will back the fuck off. And if that makes me a bitch, then so be it. I know it's not easy having somebody like me in people's lives. I get that. At the same time, nobody wants to flip the script and realize what it's like for me to be in their lives. I walk through minefields every damn day. 99% of the time, I do a pretty damn good job of keeping things together and not having any issues. It's too much right now. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I haven't slept. I have kids on fucking corona quarantine. I've got kids gasping and coughing and all of this other shit. Confined basically to my home. I have no one that I feel like I can reach out to and be like, super honest with anymore. There are some people that if they were still around, they would be the ones who I would go to, but that's not an option. So I spent the better part of my night going from a little on edge, but everything's fine, to feeling like my whole world just blew up. I felt every trigger that I have, and the worst ones that I have, thrown in my face. And then, on top of that, to have it basically be told that this is my fault, I caused this, that I'm selfish, and if I would just do it their way, then it wouldn't come to this, or this is going to continue, or whatever. I don't even know what the hell you want to call it anymore. But I had kind of one strand of hope, which is a lot for us survivors to find. And I felt it completely snap in half. I have questioned my every move. I've questioned my every thought. I've questioned my every want, my every need. My own awareness, trying to justify who's right, who's wrong, who's selfish, who's not selfish. And the only thing I can come up with is, fuck you. Fuck so many people. Because, God damn it, it's not fair. It sucks. Surviving should be good enough. Surviving should be the end, but it's not. And then when you have people who kick you when you're down, or purposely trigger you in the worst fucking ways, it's not fair. And I'm not a crier, and all day long I've felt like I'm suffocating from trying not to cry. I feel like I'm suffocating because the one person on this planet that I know who will understand this has been dead for 15 years. I don't want to trust anybody anymore. I don't want to lean on anybody anymore. I want to basically survive and take care of my 4 amazing children and make sure that they get through everything that they need to get through. And that they grow up to be happy, healthy, functioning adults that are not subjected to further abuse or gaslighting or feeling unworthy or broken or damaged or any of those things. Because they've gone through hell too. They've survived hell. And nobody gives them any fucking credit for that. I mean, their therapists do. I do. But like, I don't think people understand the magnitude of the credit that they deserve for not only surviving, but for being as put together and not broken as they could be. Yes, they have issues, but they could be so much worse. I've done my damnedest to make sure that they are okay, that I am okay, that nothing bad will ever happen in this life again. And I know obviously life is life and I can't guarantee that, but I will do my damnedest to fucking try and make sure of that. But I am freaking human. So a PSA out there to people who are dealing with survivors, whether you're their friend, whether you're their family, whether you're their significant other, their coworker. If they've confided a trigger in you, fucking respect it. If they are putting up a boundary, respect it. If they're saying, please, for the love of God, go away right now because I'm panicking, respect it. Don't throw it in their face. Don't make them feel less than. Don't make them responsible for your feelings, because you know what? It's hard enough to deal with our own. So if you have somebody like this in your life, and odds are you probably do given the statistics, don't do these things. Respect these things. So that way that man or that woman who has been a victim is not sitting alone in a car crying, trying to get their shit together because they feel like they are alone and suffocating. Don't ever gaslight a domestic violence survivor. Don't ever scream at a domestic violence survivor. Don't ever use swear words in the same sentence as their children. The only response that is going to elicit is either complete and utter shutdown or complete and utter attack. Because a lot of us at some point reach that point, especially once we've escaped and left our danger zone. We're not willing to go back there under any costs. So if you want to push buttons for fun, if you want to trigger for fun, be prepared for the backlash that's going to come with it. Because this isn't fun. It isn't a game. This isn't a way to get our attention. This isn't a way to get our affection and our love. It is a way for us to give you a swift kick out the fucking door and to scream at you the entire time. So People need to respect boundaries, whether they are the boundaries that are put up by an adult or by a child, and you don't have the right to bombard them or gaslight them or do any of those other things other than to simply say, whoa, I hear you. I'm going to respect that boundary. I'm going to back off, or I'm going to stop this, or whatever the fucking case may be. And if you can't do that, then you have no business being around people. You have no business being around any type of survivor. And I don't care what excuse you have. I don't care what thought process you have. I don't care if you feel like you have to bend over backwards for a survivor in your life, because guess what? They've spent a really long time bending over backwards too. And sometimes it's about fucking time that somebody else does it, because you have no idea what it takes to go from victim to survivor in both your family, your community, your friendships, the law, court system, the whole 9 yards. Respect boundaries. Domestic violence survivors have them for a reason. If we are self-aware enough to communicate that to you, you need to respect it. I don't care who you are in this person's life. You need to respect it. Because anything other than respecting it makes you no better than the person who hurt them originally.